A very good morning, students. I welcome you to the new video of Value Education. In this video, we will be talking about Chapter 4. Lesson 4, the spirit of service. How you basically look after others or you think about others, what all you can do to help others. We will be talking about that in this particular chapter. If someone is hungry, feed him. If thirsty, quench his thirst. If tired, see that he rests. This is true service. So you should always, make sure of this thing, that if someone is hungry, you will feed that particular person or animal. If someone is thirsty, quench his thirst. And if someone is tired, let him rest. So you have to look after others and be very kind towards them. So we have a story in this chapter which shows how one actually works for the betterment of the society and provides his service to others. Your father has gone out of station for work. Your mother has fever. What do? Ring up your grandmother and tell her to come to look after your mother? Or ring up the doctor, tell mummy symptoms, take the name of the medicine and give it to her. Then make tea for her and sit with her. So, what will you do if this is a situation with you? Okay, you might go for this one, that you will ring up the doctor, you will tell what are the symptoms, and whatever medicine he tells, you will obviously provide that medicine to your mother and prepare a tea for her and sit with her and chat with her. So, this is basically providing service, looking after someone. This story tells us that true service is not about serving by giving money, but about serving physically. Read on to know how Ridhinath changes the look of a village by giving his time and expertise and not just money. So, we always say that giving money is not only the way you can help others, but you should be physically present at times to give someone support or help. So, serving someone basically means you are physically giving some kind of help to that particular person. Let's see about Ridhinath in this particular story. True service. This is a story about three men. Then their names were Siddharth, Sid, Kedarnath, Kit, and Ridhinath, Rit. They had left their village many years back and had gone to a big city to make money and become rich. Okay, so these were the three men who actually left their villages when they were their village when many years ago, and just to go to a big city and earn money, and they have actually become rich. They were now returning to the village as very rich men. Since they had a lot of gold and silver ornaments and cash with them, they decided to travel together. They were accompanied by servants, cooks, guards, and helpers as befitted rich men. So now, since they were having a lot of silver, gold ornaments and cash with them, so three of them decided that we will be going together with, and they came together. They were accompanied by many different people like their guards, cooks, servants, and helpers as befitted rich men. Means, befitted rich man basically means which suits a rich man. For example, if you say a film star is coming, so he'll obviously be having his managers, his servants along with him, his makeup artist, and bodyguards, etc. So, in the same way, they were accompanied by all of these persons. When Sid, Kid, and Rit came to their village, they were horrified at what they saw. They were completely scared. When they reached the village, they were completely shocked and scared about seeing the entire look of the village. The land was dry and barren. The land was completely dry and barren. Barren means basically a situation in which the land is completely lifeless. You cannot grow any crop over there. So it was completely dry and it was lifeless land. You cannot grow anything. Men and animals were dying because of lack of food, water, and medicines. and the situation was more worse when they saw this thing, that the men and the animals in the village were basically dying because there was a lack of food, water, and medicines. In short, the village was in the grip of a severe drought. So drought is basically a natural disaster in which land gets completely dry and is unable to grow any kind of crop on it. So this was the situation which the villagers were actually facing at that time, and since they were not able to grow anything, they were not able to earn anything. Let's see what happened next. Sid went to the village square. He told his men to beat drums and call all the villagers to the square. So square is basically an area in a village where people usually come and they discuss things, or even if you want to give any kind of information, you will just collect all the people by beating drums. In villages, what they do to call everyone, they start beating drums and they give a message that you have to come at this point to the square, to the main area. Okay, and so this is what happened. Sid asked his men to beat the drum so that all the villagers come to the square. Here he grandly distributed gold and silver to the people. So what did he do? He distributed whatever gold and silver he was carrying with himself, so he gave it to the people. His men quickly built his statue at the square to show what a great man Sid was. Now, to show it off that he has done a lot for the people, what his people do, they made a statue of him at the square so that people will appreciate this thing, that they will always remember him, that there was this man who did this thing to them. Kid went to each house in the village and distributed all the food he had with him. And what Kid did, he distributed all the food whatever was with him among the people. Okay, he went to the house one by one and he gave food. His men shouted slogans in his praise, and उसकी तारीफ में his men started giving slogans on his name, and they told the villagers to touch his feet. So Sid distributed gold and silver among the people, and Kid went to each house and distributed food. Rid in the meanwhile did not even stop at the village. Now what happened? Rid he was not there in the village. After one look at the land and the people, he turned right back and vanished. When he saw the situation, the condition of the village and the people, he just turned back and he was completely disappeared. Vanished means disappeared. Sid and Kid criticized Rid and made fun of him. Sid and Kid criticized. Criticize means basically attacking someone verbally, saying bad things about him. So Sid and Kid, they criticized Rid and they made fun of him. Their men also joined into ridicule. So not even Sid and Kid were making fun, rather their people also started taunting, and they also started making fun of Rid and his men. The next day, Sid, Kid, and their men left for the city. So they came for one day, they distributed things among the people, and they were back to the city just after one day. After a week, some villagers saw a big procession coming towards the village. After a week, what happened? There was a huge crowd of people. Procession basically means parade or march. So there was a huge crowd of people who were coming towards the village. The word spread and the whole village gathered to see who was coming. And this particular thing, that there are a lot of people who are coming towards the village. This particular thing spread throughout the whole village within few time, and all the villagers gathered. They came together to see who was coming. The procession stopped. Now the march, the parade, people basically stopped. Heading the procession was Rid. Now who was heading? Rid was heading that procession. He was accompanied by men carrying tools for agriculture, machines for pumping water from the ground, and experts to guide the villagers in what crops to sow and how to look after them. So now what Rid did, he actually went back to the city. He brought the necessary things and necessary people to the village so that he can actually help his village people. So there were people who were carrying tools for agriculture, machines for pumping out water from the ground, and he also brought some experts from the city who can guide the people that which kind of crops they can grow in the particular land and how they have to look after them. The men got down to work. They divided the village into 4 zones. One man was put in charge of each zone. Now everyone was ready, and the entire village was basically divided into 4 zones, 4 different areas, and each zone was being head by a single person who used to supervise and look after every particular thing, that what should be there in which particular zone and everything. Rid supervised all this. And who was supervising all this thing? Rid, he was supervising that who will be the head of which particular zone. He did not leave as Sid and Kid had done. Sid and Kid, they gave money and food to the people, but now they are gone. But Rid didn't leave, he was there. He stayed back in the village in the heat, poverty, and difficult conditions. He was completely there with all his heart and wealth, you can say. From morning to night he would tour the village, meet people, sign checks, and tend to the sick. From morning till night he would look after the village, sign checks to the people, providing them money, finances, and even looking after the sick people. Six months later, the look of the village changed completely, and it almost took 6 months for changing the look and situation of the village. There was greenery all around. Men tilled the land. The women tended to the house, and the children went to the school. Now it was completely changed. The situation was a very happy situation. It was all greenery. Men were looking after their land. Women were looking after the house, and children were going to the school. Rid stayed in the village forever, serving people. He was there in the village for whole of his life. He stayed there in the village and he started serving them. He did not get statues built for himself and slogans shouted in his praise. He didn't let the villagers and other people to build statues of him or praise him, say slogans for him. He did true service and got love and respect of the villagers in return. And in return he got a lot of respect and love from the villagers. With this we are done with the chapter. Now let's move to the question and answers. Question time. Question number 1. Write yes or no. Give a reason for your answer. A part. Sid, Kid and Rid were rich men. Yes, they were rich men as they had a lot of gold and silver ornaments. So the answer is yes, comma, as they had plenty of, yes, comma, as they had plenty of gold and silver ornaments. Yes, as they had plenty of gold and silver ornaments. Next question. Kid did not want to be praised for what he did. He wanted. No, full stop. In fact, he liked people falling at his feet and shouting slogans in his praise. He was very happy about this thing, that people are saying slogans for me in my praise and they are falling at my feet. Next, Sid gave gold and silver to the people for praise. Yes. Also, what happened? He got a statue built for him at the square. Yes, he even got his statue erected at the square. He even got his statue erected at the square. Next one. 6 months later, the village was still suffering from drought. No, it was completely different. There was a lot of greenery. People were happy there. So the answer is no, because the look of the village changed completely in 6 months. No, because the look of the village changed completely in 6 months. Next one. Rid did true service in the village. Yes, he did true service in the village. Yes, he made the people understand that working and earning oneself was the best way of becoming rich. Means you have to work hard and then earn the money. That is the only way that you can become rich. Yes, he made the people understand that working and earning oneself was the best way of becoming Question rich. Number 2, answer in one word. Where had Red Kid and Sid gone to earn money? They used to live in village, then they went to big city to earn money. What was the village in grip of when they returned? Yes, severe drought. What did Sid's men make to show his greatness? His statue. Whose feet were the villagers asked to touch in his praise? Kid. Who won the respect and love of the villagers? Rid. To think. There are different forms of offering services to people. Caring for them, showing love, and helping them in need are some more examples. So, there are different ways and you can serve people. For example, if I talk about Gurdwara, so people usually go there and they do a lot of seva and give service, physical service. For example, washing the dishes, cooking food, baking chapatis, cleaning the area. So all these are a way of giving service. Sid, Kid and Red helped the villagers in their own way. Red's service was true service because he gave his time and provided the villagers with what they needed. He made them work along with him and improve the condition of the village. So Sid, Kid and Red, three of them went to the village. Three of them helped the villagers in their own possible way. But Red's service was the most perfect one. The true service was of Red because he didn't only spend his money, he also gave his time. He also gave his efforts to the people. And just see, one day that food will obviously finish, that money will obviously finish, but what Rid has done, giving them a better life, will always help them to grow. So, whose service was much truthful and helpful? Rid's. Discuss in class the meaning of true service. Also discuss how you as a child can serve people. So you can discuss it with your parents that what are the different ways in which you can serve people as a child. You can also discuss it amongst your class friends and your cousins and brothers and sisters. Time for a reality check. Rahul is traveling by train with his family. They are on their way when suddenly the train is derailed. Some people are seriously injured. Derailed means basically the train gets off to the from the track. So, and some people are seriously injured. People from a nearby village offer shelter and help. They also prepare food for the travelers. Most of the passengers move towards the village to get food. Some people stay back to help those who are injured, but more people are required. Rahul has to decide whether he should go to the village with his family or help the injured people. So, some people waited for helping others, some went to the village to get help. Now it is basically upon Rahul that what he will do, whether he will go to the village or whether he will stay there and help others. Work in groups and discuss what Rahul should or should not do. Use the points given below and add more points of your own. So let's see. He should help because he knows it is the right thing to do. Realize that to help those in need is true service. Yes, he should help others. He should also think of others, that if he is fine, he should make others also in a position that they can actually be safe. He should provide help to them. He should not think that he is too young to be of any help. Yes, we should never think of this particular thing that I am small or I am very young and I cannot help anyone. That is completely wrong. He should not shirk from helping, thinking the food being served in the village may get over. He should not, hesitate from helping and think, oh, that food might get finished in the village. So he should not think of this, and he should not run away. He should be there to help others. Diary time. Write what you would do if you were in Rahul's place. So now you have seen the situation. So you have to write what you will do if you were in Rahul's place. Put the date on whichever date you are doing this work. Today we spoke about serving others, means helping others. So if I were in Rahul's place, I would, what you would do if you were in Rahul's place. Your time. Grandmother says that service begins with prayers uttered with love to God. Father says that service also means being clean, neat, and hardworking. Mother says that service means looking after elders, sick people, and welcoming guests with love. Teacher says that service means doing at least one good deed a day and being helpful to those around you. Different people define service in different ways. Work in groups to compose a small poem or a passage which will bring out all these ideas. Add your own thoughts on what service is to you. So different people have different definitions for service. What you have to do is you can either write a short poem in the book itself or a small passage in the book itself, and you can also incorporate your ideas at what basically service means to you. Okay, so with this we are done with lesson number 4. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care.